want to thank y'all for having me here. Me and my wife, I tell you, it's really a blessing. In the 6th district, we got a few good people that's running in this race that done a lot of good work in the community. But I think that out of everybody, you know, I'm unique, you know, especially with my background and things like that. I'm born and raised in East Knoxville, grew up in East Knoxville from Austin. We started out in Austin, then we went to Walter P, back to Austin Homes, back to Walter P. And during that time, you know, when I tell people this, football kept me out of a lot of stuff. You know, football kept me out of a lot of stuff. You know, when football season was in, but when football season was over with, and you upbring them bricks with no air conditioner and things like that, you know, you tend to get caught up in some trouble, right? And so therefore, you know, I know how it is, you know, and I'm not afraid to speak on my past, because a lot of us have a past, and I thank God for changing my life. I thank God for sparing my life and sparing my freedom. You know, matter of fact, I thank God for my wife there, because 16 months ago, I was fighting for my life. You know, in a coma and things like that, and the doctors was telling her that I was gonna die. But I thank God for a praying woman, a praying wife. You know, that's what she do all day long at church. That's her job, is praying. And so therefore, you know, God raised me up out of that. And you know, I always have dealt with, you know, like Denzel was talking about gun violence. We know that gun violence plays a major role in, especially in our district. Things like that. You know, we opened up the Safe Haven House on Magnolia. Sean Allen and them came by there and looked at the Safe Haven House and things like that. And what we try to do is give these young men an opportunity. Let them know that, you know, that there's a better way to life. You know, we say that if they fellowship with one another, they ain't gonna want to kill one another. We did a Safe Haven gym back in 2017. 2016 through 2019, and I know what politics will play. You know, save our. That's back when Madeline Rohara was in the mayor. You know, awesome program. We had youth coming from Chattanooga. We talking about gang members coming from Chattanooga. You know, playing. And during that time, wasn't no violence, no shootings, or none of that. That we formed a thing called where we did life skills with them as well. So therefore, yeah, you know, we done had rallies against gun violence, protest the gun show over in East Knoxville, got that moved, and I took a lot of heat from that, because a lot of people, even in my church, was saying, man, that's what they call me, man, don't you know I'm a gun owner and things like that? I understand that. But see, it doesn't make no sense to have a gun show in the gun zone. And then when these young boys get pulled over or something with a gun, they gone for years. And then I know from experience, you know, growing up, you can go over there to Highway Park and get a gun for nothing. And then they will come to the projects and bring guns over there, and we'll buy the guns or whatever the case may be. Now, a question was asked about, you know, and I heard some people say 16 years old, and about, you know, a lot of these shootings and stuff like that, right? But it was a question that asked at KPD, because I was doing a class at KPD, and one of the black officers said, you know what? You know who I'm most afraid of? A black officer said, I'm most afraid of black young boys. Black young boys from the age of 12 to 18 years old. And he's a black cop, right? And that bothered me. That bothered me. Why are you afraid? See, because this is the thing. We have a lot of people that as we say, gatekeepers in our community. But a lot of times they have failed our kids. They have failed our community. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, well, you know, your council person, you know, they do, you know, they put a lot of focus on East Knoxville. and I had to disagree with him because East Knoxville, you know, the heart of East Knoxville, things like that, the inner city, and not just East Knoxville, but Mechanicsville. I'm talking to people out here on Southern Avenue, you know, how they don't get the attention and things like that, right? So therefore, you know, and one of the reasons I'm running is to bring unity, you know, where everybody will have a voice at the table, not just those who is in line with a certain crowd or have the titles and name recognitions, things like that. But what about those who don't never whose voice don't never be heard? And see, that's the thing that's hurting our communities, things like that. So we gotta be able to come together, because again, we got a lot of people that's doing a lot of great work, but a lot of times, you know, people don't get the help, they don't get the finances, things like that. I know how. I was talking about the Safe Haven Gym and the Safe Haven program. Politics got in the way with us, where we got denied so much. And then when they start talking about violence prevention and all that, we never got a seat at the table. Never got a seat. And they knew that we was the only program at the time dealing with this violence and stuff like. I remember I said we was doing it when Madeline O'Hara was in office, you know, with the Save Our Sons and things like that. And the thing is, and I believe this, I believe that if we all work together, we can make a major impact. I believe that if we come together with our talents, our resources, and our time, we can make a major difference in this city. But you know, I remember David was running a couple years back, and I used to ride that bike with your sign on it, billboard, yeah. You know, yeah. He had a billboard when he was running bicycle, and I used to ride it down Kingston Pike, Southern Avenue, this, that. I never thought I'd be in politics, but I tell you this, I'm not your average politician. You know what I mean? It ain't me. I'm a servant for the people. I love serving our community. I love serving people. You know, we do a lot of outreach, been doing a lot of outreach and things like that. When it came to me, I said, well, let me pray about it. Me and my wife prayed about it. And I'll be honest with y'all. I'm just gonna be honest with you. If it don't be for, and you gotta forgive me, because I'm gonna speak about my faith, because God been too good to me. You know, if it doesn't be for the Lord waking me up at 4 o'clock in the mornings, you know, ministering to me, I would have been got out of this race. And that's the truth, because one thing about it, like my man said, I'm not a cutthroat person. You know, I believe in doing things the right way. And doing, you know, I'm not gonna bash no one like that, because I don't believe in that. What I believe in is this. My wife would tell you, we pray for every candidate that's running, no matter what district they in, because we know the warfare that they're gonna come up under. So therefore, they gotta have somebody that's gonna undergird. Now, I'm not saying this to put my works out here. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. And so, whether win or lose, I told my wife, no matter what, you know, you can't lose if you're running this race and you're doing it for the right reason. You can't lose, because you're gonna be able to make an impact anyway. So yeah, that's why my mouth. That's why I'm running. And like I said, man, we got a lot of great people in District 6 that's doing a lot of great work. You know, that's really want to make a change. So and I'm one of them. So yes, thank you.
Thank you.